right, there is bipartisan support for an infrastructure bill. The problem is what Democrats initially offered was so many light years away from anything close to an actual infrastructure bill that the negotiation is taking forever. And quite frankly, it's not going very well. Republicans want to spend a fortune on roads, bridges, airports and waterways, even broadband internet and other utilities. And Democrats started off by marginalizing traditional infrastructure so much that nobody even really took the bill seriously. Do you remember the initial offer? It was hilarious. We broke it down one night. We were laughing the whole time. Little more than a massive expansion of government, free home care, free child care, free community college, all designed to get more Americans reliant on government, which of course is always their plan. That's what the left needs. They need you to need them so they can grow that beast as big as they can, socialize this entire country. It's always the plan. Here is Republican Senator John Barrasso on how Democrats define infrastructure.
They are ordering and including lots of things that are not what the traditional infrastructure ideas would include. They're focused on climate change, social welfare, those sorts of things, and they want to have massive tax increases to pay for it.
And just a little bit of infrastructure, too. When you can't even agree on a starting point, then negotiations are destined to fail, which is exactly what's happened. From the Associated Press, President Joe Biden ended talks with a group of Republican senators on a big infrastructure package on Tuesday and started reaching out to senators from both parties in a new effort toward bipartisan compromise. More on that new group, the bipartisan group, here in a moment. Biden, of course, wants to pass a $1.7 trillion bill that has, of course, very little to do with actual infrastructure. Senator Shelley Moore Capito, a Republican, was leading the negotiations for the right. She was offering $900 billion. Still a lot of money. Biden's problem with it, it doesn't address climate change, and it doesn't raise your taxes. You got to raise those, right? But why would an infrastructure bill even attempt to tackle climate change? What kind of sense does that make? Here's Webster's definition of infrastructure: the system of public works of a country, state, or region, the underlying foundation or basic framework. Am I missing something here? Am I crazy? I'm kind of surprised Webster didn't pander to a left-wing mob and change the definition to include climate change and also government-provided care for the elderly and the kids, children. The woke mob actually dropped the ball on that one. They probably could have gotten it done with enough Twitter support. Democrats knew from the beginning this wasn't going to just be a classic infrastructure bill. Of course, they knew what they were doing. Here is Jen Psaki yesterday, just before the talks broke down.
I would say that the Democrats are already moving forward on marking up components of the bill. And Democratic leadership has been clear that they want to move forward on infrastructure and making a historic investment in infrastructure.
Republicans should introduce a racial equality bill and then pack it full of middle and upper class tax breaks and military spending. And then when Democrats scoff at it, scream that they don't really care about racial equality. It's pretty much the same thing that's going on right here. It's brilliant. Something else that makes no sense: Democrats are intent on raising taxes right now. Who in their right mind would ever raise taxes at a time like this? The United States and the world economy was just ripped to shreds by a pandemic. But I guess in liberals' minds, they think, you know, those businesses we just tortured that somehow survived the past year? Yeah, let's go ahead and raise their taxes. That makes sense. I can't figure it out either. Many of these businesses are already struggling to find people to even take the jobs that they're offering thanks to the increased unemployment. Ask any low-wage worker how many people they know who haven't come back to work because they can collect $50,000 sitting at home. Trust us, the problem is everywhere. This is not manufactured, it's not exaggerated. As evidenced by this report, job openings soared to a record 9.3 million, raising fears of a labor shortage. A labor shortage in this country. Not enough people to work? Are you kidding me? We can't even fill our private sector demand for jobs. And Democrats want to raise your taxes and offer up government jobs? Just stay out of the way, guys. We know you don't know what you're doing. We've never needed government jobs less than we do right now. But of course, the White House does need to raise taxes, a priority because that's how they virtue signal to their base. They spend all of their time vilifying anybody who's actually made it in this country. They can't wait to gloat over a big tax increase. But even the bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, 29 Republicans, 29 Democrats in the House, don't want to raise taxes with this bill. They're smart enough to see through this. A deal like theirs falls right in the middle. It's right between what Biden wants and right between what Republicans want. The 58-member caucus put together a $1.25 trillion infrastructure spending framework, including $762 billion in new spending over 8 years to help salvage faltering bipartisan negotiations. This is a lot more than Republicans are offering. It's probably a pretty good compromise. The plan is heavy on infrastructure, of course, and that's a good thing because Biden's plan is not. It also includes money for broadband, also veterans housing as well. These are things everybody can agree on. Over on the Senate side, another bipartisan plan is being put together featuring the likes of Mitt Romney and Susan Collins, who I guess are practically Democrats at this point anyway. And now that Biden is done with dealing with just Republicans, he's set to negotiate with the Senate's plan, the bipartisan one. But what the Democrats really want is their own plan, uncompromised, cutting Republicans out altogether. Here's Jen Psaki again. This is earlier today while she was flying to Europe for the G7.
And then there are components of the president's proposals, including the extension of the child tax credit, making pre-K universal, making community college free, that are not as a part of the negotiations now. So they would be natural components that would be added into a budget process.
Natural components to any infrastructure plan. What infrastructure plan doesn't include government-given child care and free college? Climate change. If you're one of the millions of Americans watching your city's infrastructure crumble, myself included, you should be wondering what on earth is happening in this country and in Washington. We have very, very critical needs on infrastructure. The entire eastern seaboard is eroding. Our bridges, our roads, our cities, subways, trains, airports. Go to Baltimore sometime. Come to New York City. Go to Boston. Go to any of these big cities. It's where most people live, and it's embarrassing. And then go visit Japan. Go to Tokyo. Go to Germany. Go see Hamburg, Berlin. It's like looking into the future. You will be blown away by what a country can actually look like if we actually spend our money on our own infrastructure. Not a $2 trillion infrastructure bill that spends 10% on the definition of the word. Democrats must not think much of Americans to try and pull nonsense like this. It really makes you wonder. You wonder how the progressives also duped Biden into this. And here's a clue.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
That was today. I keep forgetting I'm president. He's likable, but sir, we can't hardly believe it either. Here's more of the president today. This is a beauty.
You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America was? Global warming. We plan to launch an ambitious effort to support resilience and development around the world by investing in high quality, high standard, physical, digital, and health infrastructures.
Still masked up over there in England. You wonder how many of those soldiers were chuckling underneath their masks. Soldiers in our military hearing that global warming is our biggest threat. I mean, that's almost insulting, to be honest. It's priceless. The ever-expanding definition of infrastructure. What else should we toss in there, by the way? We've got climate change, we've got free college. Everything is infrastructure, as we heard from all the liberal tweets when the first offer was put out. Black Lives Matter, I guess that could be infrastructure. Trans rights, of course that's infrastructure. You can't drive to work without trans rights. Can we make Newsmax infrastructure? We'd love some of that free money around here. I got some plans for that money.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.